Uh, okay. Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything about Boogie at first, but since I watched that documentary, The Dark, Sad Life of Boogie2988, I feel like I would like to speak up now. This open message is for someone who is going through phase 3 of the YouTube cycle, in my opinion. This open message is for the YouTuber Boogie2988. And he is, without even realizing it, gradually and unintentionally becoming something of a lol cow, which is something I would never ever wish upon anybody, not even towards my worst enemy. But before I open up this public letter to Boogie2988, aka Boogie, aka Francis, I feel like I have to introduce myself. But I'm still gonna go with my YouTube handle, so... Hi, I am Hybrid PodVid, or in English, Hybrid PodVid. Nice to meet you, Boogie. I am someone who used to be a fan of yours back when I was in my late teens / young adulthood in the early 2010s. I was a fan of yours back then, and I enjoyed watching your content. I don't exactly remember how I heard about you. I think I could have heard of you thanks to Equals 3, if memory serves me well. He featured your Francis video where you pretended to be mad that your WoW account got hacked. And after I was done watching that Francis snippet, I decided to look you up and see if I could find the whole video. I found it, I watched it, and I couldn't stop laughing back then. Your face turned red, you hit your head with your mouse, and then you destroyed your keyboard. And another detail that made the video even funnier was the bad mic quality. Oh, my poor stomach. I laughed so much at that video. That Francis video was funny back then and it's still funny now in my opinion. And so, I decided to see if there were any more Angry Francis videos. And I found your YouTube channel, more Francis videos, video game related topics and vlogs, and the more videos I watched of you, the more and more I became a fan of yours back then. Your Francis videos are very artistic. I mean, I can relate to having your WoW account stolen from you. Back in the Burning Crusade era, I too was very angry when my WoW account got stolen. And your Francis character artistically did mostly everything that went through my head back then. Well, of course, I didn't smash my keyboard or anything like that. Of course not. But I could have. That's what I think the artistic thing is with your Francis videos. It is what a lot of angry PC players want to do when they lose a match in WoW or lose their WoW account. But then, years later, I think in the mid-2010s or maybe late 2010s, I stopped subscribing to you. Why? Because, well, I can't exactly remember how, when or why, but I think I just got older and moved on to other YouTubers and other kinds of content. But well, of course, back then, I hadn't played WoW until early 2010s. So yeah, that may also be the case why I didn't watch more of your content. Perhaps. I can't exactly remember, it was a long time ago, I feel. But, as I was saying, apart from Francis, when it comes to your vlogs, life stories from your youth, your opinions and so, you seemed very relatable back then, when you were open about your personal life, and when you talked about your struggles from your younger years as a kid and a teen. You were even featured in Draw My Life. I mean, goodness, childhood trauma from your parents, as well as bullying from your classmates. You were sandwiched from both sides. When one is challenged with such adversities, it can either make you or break you. And for a long time, you, Boogie, gave off and furthered the impression that it made you stronger. Well, of course, I can't speak for what other people saw in you, I can only speak for myself, and I thought that when you talked about your younger days in that Draw My Life video, and a couple of more live vlogs, I thought all of those hard times made you into a stronger person. I thought this whole time, since the early 2010s, that you used to be someone who went through a bad depression, bad times, a bad childhood, and then you got back up and moved on with your life, I thought. Now, to a certain degree, it is true that you got up and moved on, but not the way one would imagine what you showed or indicated to it. Over the years, now that I am much older, I feel like an idiot for thinking that you were this big brother or father figure of YouTube. Or, as some YouTubers might have called you, the Mr. Rogers of YouTube. Unfortunately for me, I am not so familiar with Mr. Rogers other than the spin-off Flash series Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, dubbed in Swedish, because my 2 nephews used to watch that. But anyways, as I was saying about Boogie, now that I am in my 30s, I know better now. I know that behind that YouTube golden play button, you, Boogie, are just like everybody else. There is no need for me to repeat what everyone else on Twitter or X have said about you or is saying about you, or for me to show some re-uploaded old streams or videos on YouTube, because you already know your own history and many, many controversial things, if you would even identify them as controversial in your subjective point of view. But my complaints aside, I don't have anything personal against you, Boogie. No. I admit that I am very impressed that you were able to make money off the internet, and especially for this very long. That's great. That's wonderful. Some people out there upload videos on YouTube for years and years and years, as often as they can, and can't even get 100 views a week or a month, and they still don't break 1,000 views or subs for years and years and years. Essentially, a lot of people on the internet are chasing after, which you have, Boogie, internet stardom, a platform, and seemingly easy money. But they can't have it, because they are not you, Boogie. The harsh reality, the way I'm looking at this, is that not everybody's got the chop to be an internet personality like you. And this is why I don't listen to people calling you, a stupid person. I don't listen to those people, because from my point of view, if you were truly a stupid man, then you wouldn't have been able to make money on the internet, and especially for a long time, like I said. The only issue that I have with you, Boogie, is that you nowadays seemingly take your fans and online earnings for granted. Seemingly. If anybody else who's listening / viewing this wants to look into what I'm talking about in regards to his behavior, habits, then you are very much welcome to look up different sources, older Boogie videos, re-uploads, Twitter or rather X posts, and see for yourselves. But the one particular video I'm very much hung up on is the Tesla video. Now, I don't mind it when some YouTubers want to use a little bit of that money for themselves. I don't see a problem with that. But I disagree when some YouTubers use up all of that money immediately, and then they go back to their fans within a month or within a week or something like that, and then they eBay for more money. I mean, where did all of that money go? I mean, let's say you, Boogie, earned that money by opening up a Fiverr account, and people paid you money to make specific videos for them. Like happy birthday videos, happy birthday this user or that user or something like that. Good. They got a video just for them, and you, Boogie, got paid to do so. It's fair in my opinion. You, Boogie, gave them something, and they received something, and everybody is super happy. This could have been a win-win for both sides. When you talked to that woman in that documentary, from your own mouth, I heard that you don't work at all. Except for YouTube, and you worked at a game store or something like that. But I think I can understand why you wouldn't want to work in an actual job now or anymore. I mean, considering you're close to your 50s, working at an actual job, and especially at this point in your life, would probably just be pocket change for you. You're not young and cheap anymore, you're older and pricey. I think I can understand why no one would hire you just like that, when clearly that amount of money wouldn't earn you as much as you are earning right now on the internet. I understand. You're making money much quicker than what an everyday job would make you. Well, of course, I am not asking for specifics with your money, how much you're making. No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm trying to say is, out of consideration for one of my favorite YouTubers from back then, in the WoW days, I hope for you that you saved enough for a rainy day. But this open message for Boogie isn't about the money. That's not what I'm supposed to be talking about. What I really would like to talk about is you, Boogie. Not the money, not anything financial or material. I think the most important subject for this open message is you, Boogie. Now, Boogie and everyone else who's listening to this open message, you all might be wondering, hey Hybrid, you say stuff like, hey Boogie, I humbly disagree with you, what you did at one time, but you're not exactly explaining to him or us what it is. Why? Why do you leave out some of those details? And to you, people who's listening, to you all I would like to say, because I'm trying to be unbiased, I'm trying to be reasonable, and I don't wish to rub Boogie the wrong way, you see. I don't wish to be that guy that laughs at him or says the same thing that everyone else on Twitter or YouTube is saying. Now, understandably, Boogie has said and done some frustrating things, and I am very much aware of the bad, good, and everything in between that he's done. And in this open message PodVid for Boogie, I don't want this to be an attack on him, or to point out what he already knows, or try to explain to him how he should be spending his money, or tell him what his YouTube channel should be. No. No, that's not what my open message for him is about, because I don't want to do that. I can't talk to him as if I know better than him, or, I know how to solve his problems. No, I don't, and I can't do that for him. Why? Because Boogie is not stupid. He knows what he did. And I believe the best thing I can do for him right now is to not make matters even worse for him. And I don't wish to make matters even worse by feeling sorry for him. I feel like people are adding on to the problem by feeling sorry for him, which a decent amount of times leads up to people donating to him. And if I try to tell Boogie all of this on X, or any mailing or direct messaging or whatever everyone else is saying, then there is that chance that Boogie may get annoyed with me, flip the tables around on me and make me look like a bully and a harasser, and then Boogie would block me. I'm not saying Boogie did this to me, no, that's not what I'm saying, but he can if he feels like it. It seems to me that if people corner Boogie, then he may do said things. And this is why, in this open message, I don't wish to get up in his face and point out the things he's done in the past. I don't want to be that guy. Unless I want to be on his block list. I am not accusing Boogie of putting people in his block list for no reason. I don't know that. And I'm not saying Boogie doesn't want to hear bad things. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that I don't want to corner him, or get pushy with him, or say the same things people are telling him over and over again on X and YouTube. I don't wish to be the 101st guy on his list of people who criticize him, if you know what I'm saying. But there is no reason for me to recite anything he's been up to, or what he did was wrong at a certain point in his time in the past, because like I said, Boogie already knows that. Boogie has pointed out, yes, I know I'm living an unhealthy, expensive lifestyle, it's not good for my health, I know I need to do this and that for my body to live longer, yes, I know I need to save my money for a rainy day. So there is no need for me to point out any of this to Boogie, he already knows this. By the way, Boogie, I'm addressing you. I disagree with a lot of people said about you trying to scare off that one guy at that one time. Is this what we have to do? I don't understand why you got booked in jail for standing up to yourself. Most people even criticize you online about you confronting that harasser and defending yourself. I don't see the same thing everybody else is seeing. I mean, if I understand this correctly, and I am not putting words in anybody's mouth, but from the way I'm interpreting that episode, prior to coming to where you lived, you told that guy, and I am only summarizing and trying to interpret what you were trying to say and do, and I think what you were trying to tell that guy is something to the effect of, no please, don't bother me, I'm not in the mood for this, don't come to where I live, if you keep harassing me I will defend myself. You told that guy to stop bothering you. He didn't listen. It led up to you standing up to yourself. You fired a warning shot. And then the police arrested you and not the harasser. Is that about it? Is that what you were sort of trying to say? I don't mean to misquote you, Boogie, and misinterpret you, and misrepresent you, so if I did get something wrong, then please correct me. But if I was your legal representative in court, then I would tell the judge, Your Honor, my client Boogie didn't for the most part do much wrong. He was just standing up to the bully and defending his honor. He had to do what he had to do. It is kinda true that his warning shot could have hurt someone, like a child, but luckily it didn't happen. That is what I would have said if I was your lawyer or whatnot. But don't worry, Boogie, I don't see much wrong with what you did in my opinion. I disagree with the police's decision to arrest you instead of that guy. I mean, the police can't teleport, so what can you do in a right now kind of a situation? You have to defend yourself. That's the way I see it. Now, lest I am misunderstood, I want to point out that I'm not taking Boogie's side. No, I'm just saying what I think in my subjective opinion, and I am not taking pity on him. The reason why I don't pity Boogie is because I don't want to talk down to him. I don't want to think less of him, and insult his intelligence. So, no, I don't think he's stupid, like I said, and I don't want to pity Boogie like an infant. No, I think Boogie is smart. He's smart enough to be independent. He's smart enough to upload videos on YouTube regularly. He's smart enough to have that once-in-a-million YouTuber personality. He's smart enough to make money online. And he's smart enough to be social with people. And Boogie, I'd like to address you now. Please understand, I don't want to pity you, like you've been trying to say. I don't want to feel bad for you in the wrong kind of way. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to donate to you. And I myself am a guy who doesn't have that much money myself. But even if I did have an average or above average income, then I still wouldn't donate to you. Because I understand what happens next. The cycle would just continue. However, the only thing that I feel sorry for you about, without prejudice, is that you've had an unfair upbringing. In my opinion, if this was up to me, then I would like all the kids around the world to have parents that cares about them very deeply and understands the value of having a child. And having a child, especially a healthy child with no mental complications or anything like that, is not to be taken for granted. Kids should never grow up in a bad environment. Kids shouldn't be raised around foolish adults. Foolish adults that are stuck in the past. Adults who have this outdated 1950s mentality of, oh, boys should never cry or show any emotions, and girls are meant to stay at home and take care of the kids. No, 100 times no. I disapprove of those kinds of adults with that said outdated mentality. I disapprove immensely. Now, we have a few more minutes left in this open message, so I would like to say that the documentary in question is quite shocking. If I was someone who didn't know who Boogie was, then I would wrongfully believe that you, Boogie, is an autistic lolcow with an extensive ED entry like Christian. That would have been my first impression of the documentary if I had never heard of you. Luckily, I had heard of you prior, so I know you're not a lolcow. Or not a complete lolcow, okay? There is a difference between someone who is mostly a lolcow and a complete lolcow. And you, Boogie, are neither. I don't think so. I think you, Boogie, are a bit lulsy here and there, but no, I don't think you are a textbook lolcow. Not certainly in my subjective definition and opinion. Now, people are allowed to form any opinion they want of whoever, but I am sorry everyone else who's listening / viewing this, but I don't want you to show me Boogie at his unflattering angle. And Boogie, I don't even want to hear that you produced adult videos or whatever you said to that lady. And I don't want to hear from Dr. Grande how, in his opinion, you may or may not be a covert narcissist. And I don't want to be shown a video of you up front asking for 100 or $90,000 for a Tesla. I don't want to hear or see any of that. And I am not vilifying anybody, by the way. I'm not painting Dr. Grande in a bad light. I'm not doing that. I subscribe to him and I am always interested to hear what he has to say about any topics he's talking about. Boogie, what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to remember you as negative energy. I want to remember you at your best, even after you're long gone. Though watching that documentary is a hard pill for me to swallow, and as a former fan, it breaks my heart, truly. I am heartbroken that you, Boogie, are in this situation. I am heartbroken that you have such a background in your childhood, which is something I would never wish upon anybody, like I'm trying to say. And in the here and now, you seemingly don't wish to plan ahead into the future. The documentary gives me the impression that you are waiting for the timer to, run out. And what upsets me the most is that I, as a former fan, cannot save you. I can only sit and watch. And I am not laughing. This isn't funny to me, because when the cameras are off, Boogie reverts back to being a normal guy. Just like in one of those superhero cartoons like Batman or Superman or Spider-Man. The only thing I would like to laugh at is the character Boogie2988. I don't want to laugh at Boogie2988, the human being. You, Boogie, are someone I discovered in my young adulthood, and throughout the years I've seen and heard how you became this zero to hero kind of a YouTuber, and there's nothing I can do for you in your darkest era, and it hurts, it stings, and I don't think any of this is funny. As a former fan, I wish there was more I could do for you than just sit back and listen to you talk about how you're saying things like, and I quote you by taking out the explicits, quote, "When I'm on my deathbed, the biggest regret I will ever have is knowing that I had a job that every single person would kill for and I messed it up. I'm gonna be mad about that till I go to the grave." Close quote. Boogie, I don't understand. Why would you say that? But if that is the legacy you want to leave behind, you want people to remember you as, then fine, it's your decision. But as for me, I want to remember you the way I discovered you, a fun-loving guy that pretended to be an angry gamer called Francis. It was funny and relatable back then, and I think it is funny and relatable even now, years later. That is the way I would like to remember you, even after when you're no more. I don't want to remember you the way that documentary shows you. I mean no offense to the documentary creator and everybody else involved. I mean no disrespect to those guys. They did a fantastic job. I have one last thing I want to say before I close this off. And what I want to say lastly is, for the younger generation out there, when I was a little boy in the 1990s/2000s, back in the Bronze Age times of the internet, there was no Netflix, there was no YouTube, there was no high interest in the internet, because the internet back then was seen as something of a fun little clubhouse where the tech-savvy would hang out. But when I watched TV in those days, I couldn't watch Ed, Edd and Eddy whenever I felt like it. No, if I wanted to watch that show, then I had to be on time. If I missed that episode, or whichever episode, then I missed it. Reruns were on weekends, and Cartoon Network was something you had to pay a ridiculous amount of money for per month. And when I was watching TV back then, I would only see those on-screen people on TV at their best. The actors, the host, and the whatever TV personality they had back then. Yeah, I would only see them at their best. Whoever those actors were, or used to be when the cameras were off, was a mystery to me. There wasn't all of this E-drama, 4chan, or ED, and no Twitter arguments we have nowadays with today's content creators, and I don't know what to say, or how to react to all of this. Everyone was so perfect and beautiful in the TV era of the 90s and 2000s, And here I am, years later, 2024, we have sites like YouTube that will show everyone a different angle of entertainment and a new kind of content creators that are not so good looking, godlike beings, you know, like with Hollywood celebrities, but instead today's content creators of this digital era are actual people, real people that are from another nation but are born and raised someplace else, like me. Or real people that may not be a fit, muscular 1980s Hollywood actor. He isn't. He is instead heavy set, but hey, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing for him. That certain someone is actually using his extra tire to be a different kind of a digital era broadcaster, and that unique personality is you, Boogie. And I wish your close ones, your nearest and dearest family members, your fans, and, of course, you, Boogie, a good day and keep up the good work. Take care and goodbye.